All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about a technology that seriously sounds like it was ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie. AI digital minds. So are these a revolutionary way to scale human knowledge and connection? Or are we accidentally building a future where we talk to ghosts in the machine instead of, actual people? So imagine this. You need some quick workout motivation. You pull out your phone, you make a call, and that's the voice that answers. Now, get this. That's not some pre-recorded message. That is the digital mind of Arnold Schwarzenegger reasoning through a brand new question in real time. It's not science fiction anymore. It's here, and it actually works. I know exactly what you're thinking. This has Black Mirror episode written all over it, right? For a lot of people, the first gut reaction is that this is a huge step away from real human interaction. But the story behind this tech actually starts from a deeply, deeply human place. So the real question becomes, are we replacing connection, or are we creating it where it just wasn't possible before? Yeah, to really understand where this is all going, we have to look at where it came from. And this wasn't cooked up in a lab just to replace people. It all started with one person's very real, very human need for connection. So the seed for this whole idea was planted way back in 2014 with a fascinating book about how to literally create a mind. But the idea just kind of sat there until 2021. That's when Delphi's founder, Dara Lajeverdian, was working as a solo founder, feeling pretty isolated, and he needed advice he couldn't get anywhere else. It turned into this personal mission. He decided to build a digital version of his grandfather, and that project ended up sparking the exact breakthroughs he needed to launch Delphi. So Dara was reading this book about his grandfather, who was just this incredible man with amazing principles. But a book is static, right? It can't answer back. And it couldn't answer the one question he desperately needed an answer to, which was, what would you do in my shoes? He couldn't ask him in person, so he used AI to try and bring that wisdom to life. But, going from a personal project to a real company, that's a whole different ballgame. And actually, the first attempt was a complete and total failure. It took a few key insights and a massive, massive drop in the cost of AI to make it all possible. Yeah, that first launch back in 2021 was a disaster. It was ridiculously expensive to run, the public backlash was fierce, people were calling it immoral, and he even started getting cease and desist letters. But then, two game-changing things happened. AI costs just plummeted, and they realized the core need he felt wasn't just his. It was this universal desire for mentorship. That pivot to an authorized opt-in model, that changed everything. So how in the world does this even work? Well, the core idea comes from that Ray Kurzweil book. He argued that the mind isn't some magical, unknowable black box. It's actually a hierarchy of pattern recognizers. You don't need to recreate a brain molecule by molecule. You just need to understand its architecture, how it's organized. And this is basically what that organization looks like. Think of it like building blocks. It starts at the very bottom with simple recognizers for things like letters. Those feed up to recognizers for words, then sentences, and then meaning and context. And at the very top, you get something incredible, the ability to predict and reason about totally new situations, which is exactly how his grandfather's digital mind could reason about something like the AI industry. Okay, so it's also really important to understand what this isn't. Unlike platforms like Character.ai, which are awesome for entertainment and role-playing with fictional characters, Delphi is all in on verified, authentic, real people. The goal isn't just to have fun, it's about genuine knowledge transfer, and it's all built on a brand of trust. All right, so that's the theory and the origin story. Now let's look at how these digital minds are actually being used out in the wild. And believe me, the applications are way broader and more powerful than you might think. The one thread that connects all of these use cases is the idea of scaling a specific person's unique knowledge and experience. I mean, whether it's a new way of teaching, like a book that literally answers your questions back, or a CEO trying to scale their vision across the entire company, the goal is to make one person's expertise available to everyone whenever they need it. And people are engaging with this way more deeply than you would ever expect. This number, 6 hours, that is the length of a single continuous phone call one user had with a digital mind. That is not a quick Q&A session. That's a deep, long-form conversation. And maybe the most surprising benefit of all is how it just removes social friction. So many of us, right, we hesitate to ask for help because we feel like we're bothering someone important or wasting their time. This technology just completely eliminates that anxiety. So look, this isn't just about creating another new app. The grand vision here is about fundamentally changing how we interact with information and with each other online, moving us away from the internet that we're all used to today. Think about it like this. Web 1.0 was all about reading static pages. Then Web 2.0, the social media era, came along and it's all about endlessly scrolling through feeds. The next evolution, powered by tech like this, is about making active conversation the main way we get information. And here's the really optimistic part. The idea isn't to trap you online for even longer. It's actually the opposite. By making learning more efficient and more impactful, the goal is to give you what you need faster so you can log off and spend more time connecting with people in the real world. And this, right here, is the key takeaway. In a world where AI can generate infinite content, information itself just becomes a commodity. So what becomes valuable? What becomes premium? Authentic human energy, the trust you have in a specific person, curation. In this future, the unique qualities that make us human don't get automated away. They become the most valuable asset of all. So that brings us to the final question, really. This technology kind of forces us to think about our own knowledge, our own experience, as something that could be shared far beyond our own physical limits. So if you could create a digital version of yourself, what is the one thing you would want it to teach the world?